Getting your airline seat upgraded used to be something where if you traveled enough, it was just a matter of time before you'd receive a complimentary upgrade. But these days, when everything flight related has a price tag, it seems that the only way to get an upgrade is to pay for it. However, there's still some ways to score an upgrade, and so in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 different tactics that you can try to help your chances of that coveted upgraded airline seat. Let's go.
Dream vacations start here.
So why is it so hard to get a free upgrade these days? Well, the procedure for getting upgrades has become almost 100% automatic and hands-off. And for some airlines, it's just a matter of policy. But when these electronic issued upgrades do occur, they are distributed based on a number of metrics, whether to the highest ranking elite member, or to the person who purchased an upgrade eligible coach fare, or to the person who cashed in their miles. And because economy class now has numerous subclasses, each of these class levels carries eligibility, or lack thereof, for various amenities, including upgrades. The lowest levels of economy class will rarely be prompted to upgrade, or even be eligible to upgrade. But with that being said, here are some tactics that you can try to increase your chances of getting upgraded. The first and probably the best way to get upgrades is to be a seriously loyal customer. If you fly a lot on the same airline, it would be beneficial for you to sign up for their frequent flyer program, because then your options for getting upgrades soar. High mile or point travelers are the first eligible and first chosen for most upgrades. And I know you probably heard the experts tell you that airline miles aren't as valuable as they used to be, but if you're a high mileage and high dollar flyer, you will greatly see increased upgrade offers, often at no cost to you. The second way is to use an airline credit card. Using an airline credit card allows you to rack up miles, which you can later apply towards upgrades. Most even offer sign-up bonuses that give you enough miles for an upgrade after spending a certain amount. A third tactic is that if you've been inconvenienced by the airline, don't hesitate to ask for an upgrade. Airlines generally don't upgrade people for no reason, but if they've caused you a problem, that may be reason enough. If your itinerary has been botched or your flight was delayed or canceled, where you end up having to sleep on the airport floor, let the gate agents know that, and pleasantly but firmly let them know that if an upgraded seat is available on your rebooked flight, you would greatly appreciate getting that seat. This works best if you're a solo traveler, as the airline may be trying to accommodate a lot of people who may be in the same situation as you are and are less likely to upgrade groups of people altogether. Tactic number 4, volunteer to give up your seat if the flight is oversold. Whenever airlines overbook flights and need people to give up their seat, this is when you have the most leverage for getting concessions and upgrades from the airline. Most of us have probably been at the airport gate listening to the gate agents urgently asking for volunteers to give up their seat. In this situation, you can go up to the gate, set your conditions, and then let the airline decide if they can meet those conditions. So for example, you might say, I can volunteer to give up my seat for X $100 in flight credit or an upgrade on my replacement flight. Now, this might not work on the first round of volunteer requests, but when the gate agents come up to departure time and still need empty seats, they can offer deliver quite a bit. The fifth tactic is just to ask politely and directly. You can say to the gate agents, if you're upgrading passengers on this flight, I would please like to be considered. It's kind of a long shot depending on which class of ticket you have, but you never know what could result by simply asking. But be reasonable when asking. Being overly demanding and demeaning just inspires agents to pick someone else to upgrade if the opportunity arises. And don't waste everyone's time if you know that you're a poor candidate for an upgrade. If you're traveling with your whole family, have a pet parrot in a cage as your carry-on, or purchase a ticket for an extremely low fare, don't be surprised if you get passed over for an upgrade. And to go along with that, tactic number 6 is to be on time and have good timing. Showing up late to request an upgrade when an agent is busy trying to get everyone on the plane isn't going to work. Make the request with plenty of time to spare before the flight and when no one else is competing for their attention. Also, you have a better shot of being upgraded if the flight is full. Airlines carefully plan how much they oversell flights, and their inventory departments are not going to be upset if they need to be upgraded to accommodate everyone on the flight. Therefore, on a full flight, the airlines sometimes are forced to upgrade people. In this scenario, if you have a good story, you may be lucky enough for an upgrade. Tactic number 7 is if you're a solo traveler and are willing to be reseated in order to accommodate families. Sometimes family members are unable to book all their seats together, in which case it gives you the opportunity to volunteer to be reseated. Now, this doesn't mean you can necessarily be upgraded, but you can always ask. A more likely scenario would be that you end up with a better seat or a seat closer to the front of the plane. Tactic number 8, watch for business class sales. Most people ignore advertised business class fare sales entirely, and for good reason. You expect business class tickets to be much more expensive than economy class tickets. But I have occasionally seen transatlantic business class fares for around the same price as it would to fly economy on the same flight. It'll take some persistence on your part, but those opportunities do show up from time to time. Tactic number 9, look for 2-for-1 sales. If you're traveling with family or a companion, a 2-for-1 sale on first or business class tickets might make it worth it to buy into those seats. At current economy price tickets, purchasing a 2-for-1 business or first class ticket could result in a wash with respect to price. And tactic number 10 is just to buy an extra seat. If all you want is some extra space between you and the next person, then this might be a great tactic to use, especially if you find a really cheap fare. You'll find the best deals on the low-budget carriers, and the reason they can offer low fares is because these airlines can usually make up the difference in fees for checked luggage, movies, food, and other extras. However, if you don't need to check a bag or buy headphones or do any of those other things, you could skip all those charges and get yourself a lot more space and legroom for your flight for a lot less than it would be to upgrade entirely. If you do decide to buy an extra seat, it will be important that you check in for your second seat as well as present the boarding pass at the gate. Otherwise, your seat could be given away to a standby passenger. So a question for you. Have you had a recent experience where you were able to score a free upgrade? Tell us about it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I look forward to catching you in the next one.